or the 10 years between the two platforms. The two platforms, the death of Malcolm. And what happened? We began to feel that one platform was strict. And we wanted to participate in the conscious movement, but we didn't want to deal with, and you all that's going off the air, you can continue this on YouTube. We didn't want to deal with the, going into part 2 now, we didn't want to deal with the rules and restrictions that had to take place on this particular platform. When we do that, we in essence water down because we take the God. I know, Phyllis, I know exactly what I believe. I don't know. Let's say I believe. I know. I don't want to be arrogant and say I know. I believe I know what the pastors was trying to do. They were trying to take the economic blueprint, the social blueprint of the Nation of Islam, and add it to the Garvey movement, because if you know, the Garvey movement didn't have religion. And therefore the Panther Party didn't have religion. You could wear your colors any way you want to, your hair any way you want to. You can express yourself. You can have your black expression. You know, I like to wear my dreadlocks. I don't cut my face and sheen, cut and shave them, because you can do that. However, you also can, in that particular movement, could do some of the other things that they were doing that later got them in trouble. Because when you're doing things and you're representing the people, but you're doing things opposite, you later get yourself in trouble. And when you do that, the police have a means to come in. Oh, yes, the police want to kill you anyway, but don't give them a reason to kill you. So 56, 66, platform still the same. Here we are in 2016, 60 years later, 50 years later. 60 years later from when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad introduced his platform, what the Muslims want, what the Muslims believe. And it's interesting, the belief part, the Muslims had 12 steps. Panthers had what the Panthers believe, which was 10. The only difference with Muslims is we believe that God came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. A man. Came in the person of a man. So that led way to the other 12 steps. 2016, what am I getting at? We're still asking for the same thing. 2016, we look at the list of the 10-point program. We're still asking for freedom. We're still asking for justice. We're still asking for equality. We got black power. We got that. We give us that one. We're asking for education. We don't need military exemption because the draft is gone, but we do need to end police brutality. We need prison reform because we're going to prison left and right. We need fair trials. We need land of our own, some land. We need to be able to buy houses at the deal and be able to acquire property to rate some of these other races are acquiring property within our own neighborhood. We need to be able to make sure our houses don't go back to the mortgage man as soon as someone dies in our family. We need to have the skills to do that, yes. We need a decent education. Kevin Spears, that's why he's running for school board. We need a decent education for our children, because what's happening now is they're being miseducated in the early grades. And we're wondering what's happening to them by the time they get to high school. I have the privilege now of going out to the Wilmington Early College every day. When I go out to the Wilmington Early College every day, I see some of the same students that I work with at DC Virgo, because one of the goals of DC Virgo, and I'm glad they fulfilled that goal, but one of the goals that we established when we went to DC Virgo, because I had children that went to the early college, and Frankie had children that went to the early college. We said, if we can take out of these 120 students, if we can take at least 40 of them, 1/3 of the 120, that was the goal. If we can take 1/3 of the 120 and send 20 to Isaac and 20 to the early college, then we have won the war. What about the other 80? We would take the other 80 and take 40% of them, which we knew would go to New Hanover, or the other 40 of them, and then we take the other 40 and saturate them throughout the county in high schools and provide transportation for those of choice. If they want to go to Hanover, they provide transportation. Why? because we understood the game plan. We understood the lay of the land. We had a vision and a direction that would succeed. We were incorporating the philosophies of Malcolm, do for self, with Virgo, and the philosophies of W. D. Boaz, the Tyler the 10th, within the same structure. But those that are in the visionary position of the community evidently couldn't see it. But now the result is when I go out to the Wilmington Early College, that 1 year that we did this, I see students that are in the 8th, 9th grade now at the Wilmington Early College that meet me every day. Hey, Mr. Ellerbein, how you doing? When I'm going upstairs to class in the cosmetology department, they're coming out, getting on their bus, going home. And we're running into each other every day. And when they talk completely different from the ones I meet at the Touch 3 campaign every day on the streets. The language is different. The attitude is different. The look in their eyes is different, because those 20 selected students, and I haven't been to Eye of the Bear yet, but I know we've got some over there, were handpicked and selected based on their academic performance and put out of the environment they're in a school level day or the school time zone and placed over in an incubator environment so they can produce something different. While the rest of their peers not had to suffer, but have to go and stay in the environment that all of them would have to stay in anyway. And then we'll support that. That is taking two philosophies, Booker T. Washington and W. D. Boaz, and merging them together. Washington didn't have religion. Boaz really didn't have much religion. Now if we can figure out how to put the faith philosophy, because I don't believe we can do this without faith. If we can figure out how to put the faith philosophy in those two, and I'm going along with it today because I'm trying to go somewhere in this writing. If we can figure out how to put the faith philosophy back into those economic and social philosophies, here's where we have the problem at. It's the faith philosophy. Because we can work with the social philosophy of inclusion. We can work with the economic philosophy of inclusion. We all support with some of us. Most of us support turn your green to black. Most of us support the Black Business Directory. The events calendar, the social philosophy, most of us support when we're posting everything that we post from no covers. We support that. We support the events on a daily basis because that's a social philosophy. But whenever we touch on religion, the numbers go down. Whenever we try to bridge these philosophies together, what is he doing? He's preaching. I don't want to preach. I'm not preaching. I'm just using a common sense approach. If we don't figure out a way within our community to break down these barriers to religion, we're losing a generation because they're accepting everything under the sun. And those of us that know better, we're allowing it to happen because they are accepting everything up under the sun because we are arguing over chapter 24, verse 16 and ayat 44 of Surah 27. We're arguing over those particular verses. And in our argument, the children are saying, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. So what's happening? Let's get real this morning. What's happening? Homosexuality is on the rise in our community. I ride the bus every day. And the young men that I see that are representing the future of our nation tomorrow, that have accepted a lifestyle openly. It used to be a time you put stuff in the closet. Not anymore. It's all out in the open. We ain't putting nothing in the closet. We're bringing it all out. We've accepted a lifestyle. We're not going to change it. I am who I am. You can talk to me any kind of way you want. You got to accept me as I am. It's all up in the church. It dare not rise itself in the mosque, but don't you act like it's not there yet. Don't you ever, don't you think, don't you even think that you got it so locked down, because I can show you where it's at in some cases of Islam as well, because we've accepted to get into the consciousness, but not get into the real conscious. And so the children are arguing. Because why? They want to be children anyway. They want to do what they want to do. They don't want to go to bed on time. They love the party. They love the smoke. They want free sex. So they'll use your argument as an excuse to say, see, I told you. See, I told you. See, I told you this stuff wasn't right. And they'll use what you say about the Christians, what I say about the Muslims, what you say about the Muslims, what I say about the Christians. They'll use our own words against someone else so they don't have to follow the rules of either. And in the meantime, we wondering why crime and violence is going up. And we wondering why they spending more money on bricks. Yeah, Deborah, I told you I was going to get to the bricks. Took me a long route. Why they spending more money on bricks than to save our children? Because they've already done what they want to do anyway. They believe have them half dead, and we just help them push them right into the grave. Because we won't come together all around the board. There's so much more to what I want to say, but I'm going to end there today because this is long. When I went to 20-something minutes, I didn't really want to go that far. But I'm trying to make a passionate plea to us as religious people. We the biggest problem. We disagree on, do we agree that he exists? Well, both books tell me in the end, he says, I'll show you all what you differ when I come back. And right now, there's going to be disagreement because you're trying to interpret the words of man. But what does your heart say? You want to find him? What does your heart say? What is this thing pumping that blood throughout your body? For 5 few seconds, in, up, in, it's moving so fast you can't even see it. Like my son said the other day, you think cars move faster than clouds. You're so far out of reality. He come up with some stuff. We so far out of reality that we actually think the car is moving faster than the clouds. That's how far we've gotten away from him. We think the emperor with no clothes on. Will somebody please tell that man he naked? Will somebody please tell us we need to put a skirt, a wrap, a towel, or something on our naked behind? And get out here and do what we know we're supposed to be doing? Taking care of our community. I hated to go long this morning. I love you all. I love my community. I love what I do here at No Covers. And I don't do it to be arrogant. I do it because I really enjoy doing it. I want to make a passionate plea to those that's out here trying to form organizations. I want you to pay attention this weekend to No Covers. In the next 48 hours, I'm going to reveal some numbers to you because the numbers don't lie. I'm going to reveal some numbers to you on the economic condition of us, our community, and how small they made us. Some of you already know, but I'm going to reveal the numbers to you so that you all that are trying to get these upstart businesses and upstart organizations, if you think for 1 second that they want you to have another nonprofit or another business off the ground, you have to be kidding yourself. But if you think for 1 second that you got the power to do it alone, go ahead on. Don't call No Covers. Don't post in the direct, but don't ask us nothing. And we're okay. We just get another crayon and go to another color. But understand, you're going to need help. And understand, we're here to help you. We're not here to hate on you because your program is going to get recognition from the mayor or the city or the DA. That's not how we operate. That's not how I operate. Sometimes people get, why you always use I and we? It depends on what mode I'm in and who I'm talking to at that time. But it's all one. It's I and we. And there's No Covers. I'm your brother. I'm your host, Dawood Elamine. I love you. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Saturday morning, I want you to pay very attention. I'm going to reveal some numbers. It's going to be a post called Numbers Don't Lie. I want you to listen to it. I want you to get back with me so we can build this community. This is part 2 of part 1. Catch both parts. Peace and blessings. And as always, always, always,